What is good, YouTube? Smash33 here, bringing you another Pokemon Black and White Wi-Fi battle. This one is against none other than YellowSwellow, also known as Dennis, and this was the semifinals of JPRpoketrainer 98's standard tournament, and it was just an extremely exciting, amazing battle, and I wanted to bring it to you guys because 1, it's against YellowSwellow, 2, it was an amazing match. So hope you guys enjoy it as much as I did. You guys that have been doing your midterms, I wish you guys the best of luck if you're not finished already. If you guys are finished, awesome. I've just finished mine today. Got home at 10 o'clock in the morning. It was real nice. But anyway, school was just getting to me, and that's why I haven't uploaded them in I think a week and a half, 2 weeks. So without further ado, we're gonna get this match started, and hopefully this upload will bring me one step closer. So I predict him to go to his Rotom Wash, that predicting my arrow to come in. So I go out to my Swampert first to check it, so to say, and he carries Will-O-Wisp, which I see fairly often on Rotom Wash, so I'm not worried about it. I'm thinking it's a more bulky set, but I know Swampert's slower anyway, so it's not a big deal right now. But I don't really know much about his Rotom Wash to begin with. But I could have gone for the Ice Beam, predicting something to come in, but instead I predicted another Will-O-Wisp, so I went to my Espeon to D-block that, but that doesn't happen because he switches out to Latios, and he makes the double switch into his Tyranitar. So, with that said, I go for the Shadow Ball, which was a very obvious play, but nonetheless, it was enough to get the momentum started, so to say. So now I realize that this Tyranitar is max HP, max special defense after this hidden power fighting, because as you will see, it's not even a 2-hit KO, which I don't know if that's the difference between min and max. It might be a 2-hit KO, I'm not sure. But while it does a hefty chunk to his Tyranitar, it honestly should have done more. But hey, that's EV investment for you, and with the sand bringing it to kind of an automatic +1, it's a lot. And he hits me with Pursuit, predicting me to switch out. It was a good prediction, but I figured I'd stay in and go on the offensive, because I know T-Tar carries Pursuit 9 times out of 10. So I figured I'd stay in, because I don't want to be complete Pursuit bait and have my Espeon die for nothing rather than have it die fighting. So it just goes for another Pursuit, and obviously that is one dead Espeon, unfortunately, and that gives him the 6-5 advantage right now, which kind of sucks, but at least I get the safe switch into my Immense. Now what I wanted to do is I wanted an Earthquake really badly, but considering half his team is immune, I figured Draco Meteor would be the much safer play, because if he brought in Latios, it would have been KO'd, and Skarm wouldn't really care to take a Draco, and Rotom definitely wouldn't, so in a way it was a much safer play across the board. And now he goes out to Latios, obviously, because my Mets is at -2 and it's not going to be doing anything, let alone outspeeding it. So I go with my Swampert to sponge whatever it wants to throw at me, and it turns out he predicted my Scizor to come in to take the Draco, so he went for the HP Fire, which after lefties does nothing. In the sand, Swampert's actually a pretty good counter to most special attackers because, well, this Swampert is anyway, because it's specially defensive for the most part. It's a more bulky, like, roar with 3 attacks, so anyway, back to the battle. I go for the Ice Beam, because if I went for the Skull, predicting something to come in, Gastro could come in and get a boost from it, so I'd rather be safe than sorry in the fact that I don't want to give his Gastro a boost. So I go for the Ice Beam. And I have to switch out because I'm not really going to be doing much to it. Or at least I thought I didn't, because I didn't realize how much Earthquake would actually do. And I figured he was going to go for the Toxic, so I went out to Scizor to take the immunity and just nullify it completely. And I knew he was going to switch to Skarmory because it's like completely wall Scizor, so I'm going to U-turn out of there, predicting that, and I get a crit. Like, it really matters because it's quad resisted, but it's not bad considering that Skarm is like 95% chance max defense. So I go out to my Infernape, obviously, to scare it away, and I did this prediction perfectly, to be honest. Like, I'm not trying to brag, but this was just a great play on my part. I predicted his Latios to come in and go for that U-turn, so that did, now that I really look at it, that did at least 80%. So that was just, that took such a good chunk out of his Latios, which was really good, because now I can go out to Scizor to kill it with priority, and he knows I'm going to try and kill it with priority, but he goes out to his Skarmory because all of my attacks are shrugged off by Skarm's amazing base 140 defense. So I go for the quick attack in case he wanted to go to Rotom Wash to quad resist the Bullet Punch. But he goes out to Skarm, which actually was the safer play. But now I can't really do anything, so I'm going to switch out, go back out to my Mens here. And he found the opportunity to set up some spikes, I believe. Yes. Yeah, he is. He sets up a one layer of spikes, and in the long run, it didn't really matter that much. So, not that it was a waste, but it just didn't truly matter. So he goes out to his Gastro, predicting the Fire Blast, which was fairly obvious. I was kind of tempted to go for the Earthquake, but again, I don't want to overpredict. Or go for the Draco for that matter, because truthfully, even though Draco would do a hefty chunk to most of his Pokemon, none of them would KO to the point where I feel like switching out would be a great option at the time. So now I go out to my Scizor to dent it with a physical attack, and he goes for the Scald here, and I'm like, it's not going to be a big deal because I know he's not going to KO because Gastrodon's base 92, I believe, special attack isn't stellar. So, that said, unfortunately, I get burned by the Scald, which really sucks because Scizor's now dead weight, so now I just need to play around that and I'm just going to go for Superpower here. And that doesn't okay him out, despite the fact I'm being burnt, so Suspended Scizor not one to mess around. But anyway, he goes for another Scald, and I'm left with 40. And I kind of thought I was going to be able to live the next burn damage, but considering burn does an 8, then I did the quick mental math, it wouldn't have lived. So, kind of sucks, because Scizor was kind of my main check to Latios, but I still have things to take care of it, so not too huge. So, I go for the EQ here. And if I had known that EQ would have been a solid 3-hit KO at full health from Gastro, I would have gone out to Swampert sooner. I guess I either underestimated Swampert's physical attack to an extent, or that he just has next to no defense EVs invested in his Gastrodon. Anyway, he goes out to his Skarm now, I guess predicting the Earthquake, so I went for the Ice Beam, predicting that, and that did an okay amount considering that Swarm's special attack is not great by any means, and Ice Beam is non-stab. And I definitely don't fish for hacks, so it's whatever. I figured Ice Beam would be the safer choice. So, now he goes back into his Gastro, predicting the Scald, which was actually a really, really great prediction on his part, because I could have gone for any of my moves, but deciding to go for the Scald didn't really come back to bite me in the butt all that much. But it was basically a wasted move. Because I could have KO'd with Earthquake if I predicted correctly, but that's the name of the game, prediction. But now I go out and I use my Earthquake, and that is one dead Gastrodon, which is really, really good because Gastrodon's a pain in the sand and the rain, but more the sand. And no, this battle does not need more sand. So now he goes out to his Latios, and I don't quite know what he was predicting. I guess he was double predicting for me to go to Earthquake or something. I don't know. But he goes out to his Rotom Wash, and I go for the Ice Beam, and that does nothing. Not a huge deal. And toxic damage is definitely racking up. So at this point, I think Swampert's done its job fairly well. So I'm just going to leave it in to die, and I figure on the off chance that he goes to the Volt Switch predicting, I can roar it up to something else. And I roar Rotom away, and I bring in Skarmory, which isn't a bad idea, considering I have a couple of things to check this thing, Salamence and my Infernape. And this kind of sucked. I had a couple of sort of crucial misses, and this was one of them. I missed the Fire Blast here, and stupid SBP33 didn't run PP maxes on my Ments, so I have 5 PP instead of 8, but that's just my stupidity, unfortunately. But he rose me away to my Infernape, which is really nothing because I just can KO with Flare Blitz, and honestly, his Latios would have died, his Rotom wouldn't have liked taking damage from that, Scizor definitely wouldn't have liked taking damage from that. So I guess his best play was to flatter out his Skarm. So, and the fact that was at like 2/3 health, my Infernape took pretty bad recoil from that. So that said, I go for the close combat and stay in, not knowing until now that he's Scarfed. So that really sucks because I thought running a status move on a Scarf set was odd, so that's why I was led to believe that he was a bulkier set. But then again, I didn't see leftovers, so it was a bit suspicious, but whatever. I wasn't thinking completely all the way through, but it's all whatever. And I know Aerodactyl outspeeds Latios, so I go for the Stone Edge because I am max speed. I think I'm max attack, so either way, Stone Edge would have killed because it's at like less than 10%. But Stone Edge misses, which is the other kind of game-changing miss, because if I hadn't missed the Fire Blast, Skarm would have been KO'd, and if I hadn't missed the Stone Edge the first time, Latios would have been KO'd sooner, I would have retained my Sash, and his Scizor wouldn't have killed me first turn. I could have gotten damage off on that, and in the long run, it was just... those misses really came back to bite me in the butt, especially these last few turns here. As we have 7 turns to go. So, bring out Ments to weaken the Bullet Punch, which was a very, very obvious play, but regardless, just the right play to do. So, I believe the score is 2-3 right now in his favor. And I go for the Roost because I figured he was going to switch because, what's his face? I can't even remember the Pokemon right now. But he didn't want to stay in, so he goes out to his Rotom Wash, and it was just the perfect time for me to Roost. But now he goes for the Trick. I thought he was going to maybe Volt Switch or something, so I figured I'd roost that off as well. But Mence is at full health now, so that's a good thing either way. Truthfully, I could have gone for the Draco, but that wouldn't have been a very productive play in the long run because Rotom's defenses are still good, so even at health, and Draco would have killed. I was more worried about Scizor, to be honest. And now as Rotom goes for the Volt Switch here, which I decided to fodder out Aerodactyl at this time rather than leave it before because Scizor still has priority, so I figured, okay, he's gonna Volt Switch, go out to his Scizor, Arrow's gonna die, so it would actually be the greatest time to bring out my Mence, because then he's gonna switch out, so either way, I can go for the very safe Fire Blast, because even though Rotom Wash resists it, it'd still be a powerful move because I'm Life Orb, heavily invested in special attack, and just the fact that it would be a solid 2-hit KO from that range. So his Rotom didn't really touch my Mence in terms of this part of the game because my Fire Blast doesn't miss, thank God. And now I'm Scarfed, and I thought from here that his Scizor was banded, so I would have had this game in the bag here with the fairly narrow 1-0, but turns out that I go for that Fire Blast, and because of my stupidity with the PP and all that, that was my last Fire Blast. So luckily that hit, but on the suck side of that, he lives with 10% because of the Akaberry, and he's a sword dancing Scizor, which just completely ruined my day. Well, I wouldn't say ruined my day, ruined my Mence, and that is going to be the game. So that was an extremely close, that was a very exciting match. My hands were shaking and everything. It was just a great game. So if you guys don't know Dennis, or aka YellowSwellow, then make sure you check out his channel in the description, and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you guys enjoyed my content. And I am probably going to bring you guys some emeralds soon. I know I haven't been really productive with that, but it's time consuming, and what with school and midterms and all that, thank God they're over, but it's all whatever because I am going to bring you guys emerald as soon as I can. And I also have winter percussion practices and all that, so with that said, hope you guys have a great weekend. Hope you guys have survived midterms because they suck. But that's all I have to say for you guys. So like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed, and till next time, have a great weekend, everyone. SmashBros Pro 33 signing out.